Sahana vavatu, Sahanau bhunaktu, Sahaviryam karavavahai, Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Samastajana Kalyani Niratam Karunamayam Namami Chinmayam Devam Satgurum Brahmavidvaram Satgurum Brahmavidvaram. Welcome to the new Bala Vihar year. How many of you have been attending Bala Vihar for more than 5 years? More than 5 years. 1 to 5 years? 1 to 5 years. This is your first year of Bala Vihar. First time you are seeing me. You can raise your hand confidently that way. Good, good. Welcome, welcome. So today we will not begin with Bhagavad Gita 7th chapter. That is where we had paused last summer. But we'll just think a little bit about why is Bala Vihar important, mainly for our spiritual growth and also for holistic well-being of the family. What is the relevance of Bala Vihar for our entire family? Bala Vihar was envisioned by Pujya Gurudev, Swami Chinmayananda, where he was very observant on what the society needs. That is one quality of a saint. They might know many things, but they will make sure that the need of the society is met with the knowledge that they have received. So when he saw, even in India and particularly in the West, that there are so many influences waiting to color the child's mind, he said, if we don't color it with the right impressions, the mind is a very innocent mind. It can very, very easily get colored by several impressions which we don't know whether it is right for the child. But he was very clear, doing the right thing is our responsibility. How the child will grow up, how they will benefit, they are guided by Bhagavan. So he said, even while you are teaching Bala Vihar, even while you are bringing child to Bala Vihar, do it with this mindset that this is my responsibility, this is our duty. Don't expect immediate results. You don't get the mango fruit the day you sow the seed. So his guidance to spiritual parenting was, always remember, child belongs to God. They came through parents. Really speaking, they don't belong only to parents. The advantage of this thinking is, lot of our anxieties and worries will be put in Bhagwan's lap. Creator is responsible for sustenance also. You know who says this? Himavan tells Parvati ji, when she starts getting, Himavan tells his wife Sunaina ji, when she starts getting worried about Parvati ji. This comes in Ramcharitmanas, where Narad ji comes and reads the palm of Parvati ji. And he says her husband is going to be somebody who is not having any home, terrible looking, does not keep any possessions. She starts wondering what kind of prediction is this. And she's very anxious. Himavan tells, Paravatihi niramayojehi soihi karihi kalyana. He says, Sunaina, remember, the one who has created Parvati, he alone will do kalyana of her. Then who are we as parents? Gurudev says parents are gardeners. Gardener does not manufacture the seed. Seed is given to that gardener. His role is to plant it very nicely, make sure that it is protected from the calves and cows and other things, water it regularly, and expose it to the sun. Having done that, can the gardener guarantee that the mango fruit will be of this kind only? He said, I did all the things. Gardener cannot guarantee. But let us say he does not water it, does not show sunshine to the seed. Will the fruit come? Definitely it will not come. So gardener's role is to make sure that he is doing it with a sense of duty. Whenever it is the right time, sweet fruit has to come. It might take longer. That's why Kabir Das Ji has that doha, Mali siche 100 ghada. In 100 pots, Mali will put the seed. Mali siche 100 ghada. Then the second line is Ritu aaye phala hoye. That's how it concludes. Because he has sown the seed, result is not instantaneous. Ritu has to come. Right season has to come. That is when the fruit will be available to him. So it's a very healthy mindset. So Bala Vihar, we have to start on this footing. If we don't give them samskara, will samskara come to them? Definitely not. But because we have brought them to Bala Vihar, do you think suddenly there will be a change? Not necessary. Simple thing is this. How many hours do they spend in school? 5-6 hours in a day. How many hours do they spend at home actively with parents? Maybe 5 hours. Then they have other classes, sleeping time you exclude. In a week, how many hours do they spend in Bala Vihar? 1 or 2 hours. So the entire value system, Bharatiya Samskruti, spiritual knowledge, to get transferred to them in 2 hours in a week, it's a very tall expectation. Then what should we be doing? Gurudev says, when I say Gurudev says, it is Swami Chinmayananda. I've picked all these points from his writings on Bala Vihar. That's why I'm quoting him. He says we have to learn the art of taking Bala Vihar home. Learn the art of taking Bala Vihar home. Now, how do we take Bala Vihar home? He says every home should have an altar. A very clean, simple, inspiring place. And he defines what should happen at the altar. He says altar is a place where children should see parents pray. He does not say altar is a place where children should pray. Altar is a place where the child, right from childhood, should see parents spending some time. Because they are very active observers. They are active listeners and not only passive observers. When they see parents pray, some samskara gets instilled that this is important. And once a week, he says, we should sit as a family and do some prayer together. Many families have Kula Devata, right? Or you might have your Ishta Devata, some deity that you connect with. Or you can take Gurudev's Aarti. Very simple, short Aarti. But do it as a family. And give the child some active role. Let him ring the bell. Give some noisy instrument, let him play. And the child should feel, is if I am not there, Aarti cannot happen. I am the most important part. Wait for the child. Until he comes, don't start. That is another way of taking Bala Vihar home. What they have learnt in Bala Vihar is, what is nature of God? Different stories are told to them. How to cultivate love for God. But remember, 99% of time they are hearing something contrary to devotion. They are hearing something different from what they have heard at Bala Vihar. So how can we take that home such that these values of devotion are instilled in the child? So one of that is, we ourselves should pray every day. And once a week at least, sit down as a family and do group collective prayer. And the bhavana should be whatever we might be going through. If it is good times, express gratitude to God and say, it is by your grace all of this is happening. If it is some challenging time, the same prayer should remind us, it is only by your grace we are going to come out of this. That kind of a mindset is an anchor for the child wherever they are. What has been instilled right from childhood, that the one who is going to give us joy is God only. One who is going to remove sorrow is also Bhagavan. That is the bhavana in prayer. Every day we should try to do this. I meet many children who do Sandhya Vandanam because Janevu has been done. They say weekdays we have something called as quick Sandhi, and weekends is little longer Sandhi. They call Sandhya Vandanam as Sandhi. I said, okay, what is your quick Sandhi duration? He said, 5 minutes. I said, 5 minutes? What all do you do? I chant all the mantras, 108 times Gayatri, and I'm done. Imagine the speed at which he's going. 108 Gayatri, in 5 minutes he has finished. I said, it's okay if you do 11 times Gayatri. It is okay if you do 21 times Gayatri. But while you are doing it, let whole attention be on one altar. What that altar is, you choose. Somebody might want sun as the altar. Somebody might want Ishtadevata as the altar. Altar means what? Support. What am I looking at? What am I thinking of? In that altar, I see God. And that kind of focus, that kind of single-pointed prayer definitely gives results. This is said in our Upanishads. This is also called as Upasana, where you have an ordinary altar. In that altar you see extraordinary God. In 10th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavan Krishna speaks about altars from nature. He says you can meditate upon sun as God, Vibhuti Yoga. You can meditate upon moon as God. Your own mind you can meditate as God. You can even meditate upon lion and shark as God. Simha and Makara. He says both can be altars, but not for everybody. If somebody is into fishing industry, he is seeing fish day in and day out. So where will he meditate upon God? In that fish. So like that we have to find our own Upasana. The simplest one is take form of the Lord. If that is available and you are able to connect with it, that is the best one. So this is the prayer part of it, where every day we should have some spiritual routine where the child sees parents doing it first. And it will only bring good to us in our own journey and our journey as family together. They have a saying, family that eats together stays together. The spiritual side of that is family that prays together stays together. And sometimes it might not happen that they're willing to come and sit with us, which is okay. To tell is our responsibility, our job. But even if they see us doing it, that is sufficient to create impressions. That is why choose some chants, if you are doing it for children, which are nice and upbeat and melodious. Don't do it in some deep raga, Bhairavi. You see Mudakarata Modakam, how it is? Mudakarata Modakam Sadav. It's a nice song. Shankaracharya, when he composed at that time, all these things he has kept in mind. That's why he is called Jagat Guru. Huh? His teaching can be taught to a little child, and his teaching can be taught to a Paramahamsa Sannyasi. One whose teaching doesn't exclude anybody in Jagat. That Guru is called as Jagat Guru. So that is one aspect of how to take Bala Vihar home, prayer. Second aspect is, see, children are learning so many things in their classes right now. But unless we ask them, unless we have a creative way of bringing it out, they will not share it. You know, the famous or the most widely practiced sign of teenagers? You ask them, what did you learn at Bala Vihar? I don't know. You wonder, what is the next question I should ask now? But in a way that they are able to share, even if it takes little nudging, even if you have to position yourself as ignorant. They sharing what is the teaching of scriptures, it is worth it. Whenever we share again, those teachings become well ingrained in us. When you go for a hike, you tie your shoelaces. How many times do you tie it? Once or twice? Twice. Why do you tie it twice? So it's well, not is very good. There is a Sanskrit saying on this. Dvirbaddham subaddham bhavati. Whatever has been done twice is very well internalized. So they have listened to these stories once. On your drive back home, listen to it again. And whatever they say, don't correct. At least you are coming to know what they are learning and what they have understood there. One parent told me, the only time when she gets to know what is going on in the child's school is when both the siblings are in the back seat and talking. When they drive back from school to home, when they are talking, she said, my rule is stay quiet. Don't ask anything, because that is when you are getting to understand what the child is going through. Bala Vihar also same thing, if you are able to just inquire and ask. Then if you are attending adult classes, you will get some more material from here. Then it is your mananam, how to discuss it with the child in a language that they can understand. 7th chapter will be seeing about God as this universe. Now if you have to bring it down to a level of a kindergartner, bring it down to a level of middle schooler, there is so much of thinking you can do. How do you instill this understanding more that everything in this universe is God? Children ask this question, right? If we touch our feet to somebody, why do we do namaskar? It's the same bhavana. That same Bhagwan is present in everybody. You can ask your own questions. That is what study group is. Facilitator should have very well internalized the subject matter, but not give it away directly. You should ask pointed questions in such a way that result of that discussion ends up to be the answer that you want the group to go towards. So if you have that kind of a discussion, your car ride will become a study group. With whom? With children. They have learned something there, you have learned something here, both of it can be shared. And then when they come home with some concerns, some thing is bothering them, that is when we have to see solution in light of scriptures. All the values of acceptance, values of forgiveness, if it's a trivial thing, if it's a serious thing, yes, pay attention. But if it's a small thing, more and more we have to encourage all these values and living by these values. So that is the second part of taking Bala Vihar home. What is the first one? Have an altar where children see parents pray. And once a week do group prayer, family prayer. There is one more point Gurudev mentions there. He says, if the child is in a position to listen to stories, read them lot of stories of God. And in his letter, he is recommending books like Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna, which has so many parables, so many stories. It will paint the child's heart with devotion to God. Such kind of books we should read. Gurudev's own parables book is there. Stories every day. They will be more dramatic also. If you allow them to read some days, they can read it in a very dramatic way. So that is the first point about taking Bala Vihar home. Second one is discuss. Whatever we have learnt here, whatever they have learnt there, they should be able to have some conversation outside of their class. Third one is seva. See, all of you are coming here for the class. Just you coming here is already creating an impression in the child's mind that Bala Vihar is something which is important. If you had to just drop the child and say, okay, 1.5 hours, 2 hours, I get free time. I can do my groceries, I can do this, I can do that. Then the child feels, oh, this is just one of the 10 activities that I'm doing in a week. It is not important. It is something that my parents just want me to be busy with. But that impression which gets created when parents take it seriously is a very different impression. And we have always seen for the last several years, when parents get involved in seva, the involvement of the child is very different. It might not show right away. It is not that parents start doing seva, child also will start doing seva. Not in that way. But children get to see what Chinmaya mission is. It is not just one small facet of 1 hour per day, but there are so many avenues, so many things that we can offer our contribution. If you like social work, we have social projects. Here alone we have sandwich seva, we have homeless feeding. Globally we have CORD, Chinmaya Organization for Rural Development. And many have connected with that cause. If somebody likes artistic work, you say, I'm good in graphic designing. I like thinking about how to communicate effectively using colors, minimal words. You say, we have publicity seva. You can help out with that. Somebody says, I'm good in studying. I like the study part of it. We have study groups. Come and help out there. When there is a spectrum of different activities, don't sign up for all. Okay? Sign up for 1 or 2 and do it well. It is not important what seva we do. It is important that we do seva. And whichever seva we are doing it with the right mindset, right bhavana. That this is my contribution, this is my offering for whatever I am receiving. Seva is an expression of gratitude. That is the main thing. And that impact is very different. Because you'll get involved with more sevaks, you'll get to know their families. So children will grow up together. That is one of the greatest advantage of seva. If we just come to a class and go, that is good. It's already creating some impressions. But you will not know each other. But when you serve together, that is when families come together. That is one uniqueness of seva. What were all these points about? Taking Bala Vihar home. If we want them to learn our Sanatana Dharma, Hindu culture, just 2 hours in a week is not sufficient. We have to do something at home on a regular basis, start discussing spiritual topics with them, and we ourselves should start getting involved in some seva. And whenever children ask questions, our answer should always have a touch of devotion, shades of devotion in that answer. Somebody asked Gurudev, a small girl, who is God? Who is God? You know what Gurudev answered back? He said, what is the color of milk? There were more children there. All of them said, white. What is the color of the cow that gives milk? They said, black. What is the color of the grass that the cow eats? Green. So Gurudev said, the one who makes green grass eaten by the black cow into white milk, he is God. You see the beauty? Simple answer, but he would turn attention every point to Bhagavan. Sometimes, this point I was discussing with Swami Prakashananji when we were in Trinidad. He was mentioning this. He said sometimes when children do something, right? Let's say they drew something and they came. What do? We praise them. Oh, this is so good, so nice, so sweet. He said, think about it. Is it the right thing to do? Because the child at some point will go to university. And when the child does some assignment and brings to school, to university professor, what will that professor do? They will not hesitate. They will critique it the way it has to be critiqued. Means we have brought up the child in such a protective environment where the child hears only praise. And this is true with the education system also. Until 12th grade, they are pampered so much in a way that they don't hear anything other than good things. Then suddenly you are here in this real world where so many things are coming their way. Critique is coming, criticism is coming. Then he goes into job. See, product is the same. When he was a child, he brought a drawing. In college, he brought assignment. In job, he will bring some projects that he is going to work on and bring. And there he is made to go through all sorts of experiences. So he said, rather than only praising the child, good thing to do is turn the child's attention towards God. In the sense, the ability to draw has been given by God. The inspiration to draw came from God. He says, you have done a good job, but keep praying to Him so that you can do even better. We have done two things there. One is we are saving the child from future disappointments. If we always praise and say you are the best, at some point he'll get disappointed. And the second is we are not setting the bar too low. Because if you say you are good, that is where the bar might be set and the child could have done much better. I had shared this last time also. If you see traditional music teachers, dance teachers, they will never praise the child. Even after the child is 15 years, done all the things, everybody else is praising. The child wonders, why is my teacher not seeing it? But that is a sign of a good teacher. Why is it good? Because the moment you praise, that is when the learning might stop. That is where the bar might be set. At the same time, they need some cushioning of love also. So the role of a parent is like a potter. You have seen a potter making a pot? One hand is inside, nicely cushioning the pot. What is the other hand doing? Shaping the pot. You only shape it without the cushioning inside, pot will break. You only cushion it inside, don't shape it outside, you will get something else, not a pot. So that is the sadhana which we have to keep in mind when it comes to communicating with children. Okay. Nowadays there are so many magazines and other things, right? National Geography. It's fascinating, I tell you, the way they describe nature, the way they help you appreciate nature. If you are teaching Vibhuti Yoga, I would highly encourage those teachers to read it. Vibhuti Yoga talks about creation, but why creation is wonderful, if somebody is telling you, take it from there. But paint it with echoes of love for God. Let it not just be scientific phenomenon which is happening. Along with that, it is Bhagwan who is doing it. That is our role. Now, there is one verse in Sanskrit. It's a Subhashita, very nice Subhashita. We'll chant it. It is called 5 Vakaras, 5 verse. Word beginning with Va, 5 of them. If we pay attention to these 5 things, the author says, we can protect our culture well. Even in children, if you pay attention to these 5 things, you can transfer, inspire culture in an effective way. What are those 5 things? Vastrena vapusha vacha. Vastrena vapusha vacha. Vidyaya vinayena cha. Vidyaya vinayena cha. Vakarai panchabhir yuktah. Vakarai panchabhir yuktah. Naro bhavati pujitah. Naro bhavati pujitah. A person becomes worshipful, person becomes cultured when he is able to imbibe these 5 vakara. Vakara means these 5 words which are beginning with va. What is the first one? Vastram. Vastram means the way we dress, attire. We'll just see the meanings first. Second va is vapuhu. Vapu means body, but vapu in this context means body language. Body language, how we walk, how we sit. In modern words, they say vibe. I still remember all these youngsters, they use this word a lot. Are you vibing? So we had this national chick camp. Swami Swarupananji was there, I was there. This youngster, she came from somewhere and she directly went to Swamiji and says, Hari Om Swamiji, how are you doing? Are you vibing? Swamiji said, yes, very well. He also played along. The second is vapuhu, which means body language. Third one is speech, vak. Vak. These are all points about culture. Huh? Attire, vastram. Body language, vapuhu. Speech, vak. Fourth one is vidya. Vidya means knowledge. What am I good at doing? Some subject matter should be there, which is my core competence. I might like doing many things, but at least one thing, one vidya, I have to learn well. A cultured person will have all these four things. What is the first one? Vastram, attire. Vapuhu, body language. Vak, speech. Fourth one is vidya, knowledge. These four things, if you look at it, was there in a great extent in Ravana also. Attire, very nicely dressed. Body language, very confident. He was a great Sanskrit Pandit. Whenever he speaks, very eloquent. Lot of knowledge he had. But still he was not called a cultured person. Why? Fifth one was missing. Vinaya. Vinaya means humility. I was hearing Pujya Guruji, Swami Chinmayananda. He said in our Chinmaya Nadabindu, our music school in Pune, Vibhuti, they do one Nadabindu festival where all artists come, great artists. Our Shiv Kumar Sharma ji has come several times. Have you heard of Birju Maharaj ji, the exponent of Kathak? He had come once and they were having meals together, Guruji and Birju Maharaj ji. He said Birju Maharaj ji told him, it has been 50 years I've been serving dance. You see the way in which they say, huh? Not I'm dancing. 50 years since I've been serving dance. He said, now I have started to understand little bit of dance. After 50 years, thoda bahut vishay khulne laga hai. The subject matter is unfolding little bit. What is that? Fifth quality called as Vinaya. Now the first one, Vastram. Okay, tell me one thing. How many of you are staying back for the second session? Some of you are, right? Okay, some new will come. Because I always get caught up in a dilemma for the first time I do. Other classes are easy because there are two different texts. So if I do something totally different, then our sevaks tell me that, oh no, they will, second session people who are coming new will miss out whatever you said. If I say the same things again, then all of you will are sitting here. So I was wondering whether to cover this in this session or next session. Should I cover it now? Okay. First one is Vastram. Clothing is something which impacts the mind in a very intricate manner. The way we dress and the impact that it gets created. One of the often asked questions wherever I go for bhiksha, if it's a small child, why do you wear yellow all the time? He thinks I'm wearing the same yellow every day. I tell them, doctor has a uniform, army people have a uniform, this is our uniform. Pilots have uniform, aircraft pilots. They will never break the rules of aviation. You will never see them eat in random places. They will go straight from the gate to their terminal, back to their place. Outside they might do whatever they want, but not when they're in uniform. You will never find an army person bow down in uniform. In Siddhabari, we have an army cantonment close to our ashram. There was an army personnel who used to come to meet Gurudev. Everybody was bowing down and he was not bowing down. So somebody asked him, why do you don't bow down? He said, when I am in uniform, I cannot bow. Then Gurudev said, my Guru has given me also a uniform. You have to wear it 10 hours a day, I have to wear it 24 hours. So that uniform reminds us what this value is. But in simple words, when we wear nice colorful clothing, mind also is cheerful. Diwali day, we have a tradition that you should wear new clothes. Clothes are new, but you feel you are becoming new. You have become new. What I want to say is Vastram. Culture gets transferred, culture gets portrayed through clothing in a great way. And more we understand this, we will feel proud to wear clothing of our own culture. And this is true with any culture. If you go to West Africa, like in Benin, they have their own style of dressing. And they're so proud of how they dress. It's based on occasion, based on climate. Even in our culture, it's based on occasion, based on climate. You go to South India, the temple, the dress code for men is what? Dhoti and Angavastram. What is the climate there? Very hot. You go to Kashi Vishwanath Mandir, even the Panditji wear nice jacket and they'll be chanting Veda mantras. It's a cold climate. So based upon the climate and based upon the occasion, we should feel proud to wear attire, clothing of our own culture. One secret mantra with children is, whatever you praise will be repeated. If you praise when the child wears a bindi, very likely they will want to wear again. So that is with clothing, attire, a very important aspect of our culture. You want a Vedantic perspective to this Vastram? Nowadays people talk about wearing natural clothing. Natural means cotton or khadi or something which is not too, heavy. Breathability of the skin. How many sense organs do we have? Organs of perception? 5. Eyes are organs of perception, ears, nose, our tongue. 5th one is skin. So our perception of the world is also happening through Tvag Indriya. That is where it connects with attire. That's why so much emphasis is given on wearing fresh clothes, wearing clean clothes. Because that is one way we are perceiving the world. And if you are into research, you will find several articles talking about impact of colors on the mind. If I say white, which value comes to your mind? Peace. And these are not stereotypes. These are proven by surveys, proven by the way we perceive colors. Other colors you can keep thinking. Okay, I will not give all color examples. Darker shades, they have their own impact. So we have to. First class is okay, but as we go forward, please keep it on silent. So that is about Vastram. Second one was Vapuhu. Vapuhu means body language. This also we don't have to go too far to see. When you were in school, if somebody had a habit of, let's say, clicking pen, the moment I'm so afraid in our Bala Vihar camps, chick camps to give these pens to the attendees, When you are talking, there is a music going on, background music. What would the teacher do? If they saw you either shaking the leg or clicking the pen, they would scold. Because body language is a reflection of our mind. If mind is restless, body is restless. If you train the body to be calm, it will make mind calm. That's why in meditation we emphasize so much, sit straight. Don't move. If body is still, mind can be made still. So that is the body language part. How we walk, how we interact with people. There should be some kind of love and warmth. These things we learn from Ramcharitmanas. When Lakshmanji speaks to Bhagwan Rama, he doesn't stand straight and speak. He is little bit bent. Reverentially he speaks to Bhagwan Rama. This is the first sight Bharatji sees when he comes to Chitrakoot. Bhagwan is sitting in front of his ashram. Our Lakshmanji is reverentially asking a question, and Bhagwan is answering with love. That is the importance of body language. Third one is speech. Speech is another one, particularly at home. What kind of language we use? Of course, I'm sure all of us are very, very alert and mindful of speech. But even it could be a speech at a higher voice. Being able to manage it is a great sadhana. Being able to manage our speech. In spite of the mind wanting to throw tantrums, in spite of the mind getting agitated. That itself is a great tapasya. And in Grahastha it will be even more. Swami Swarupananji said a nice thing. He said, Are Baba, Grahastha is tapasya. He said, I don't know why Grahastha is want to do tapasya. Because there are so many points of contact, so many trigger points for our mind to get agitated. What is one way of holding on to our culture? Being mindful of speech. If we say we are belonging to Bharatiya Samskruti, that speech should be something that gives joy to others, brings peace to others. Kabir Das Ji has a very nice doha, which you all are familiar with. He says, Vani aisi boliye, man ka apa khoye. One meaning of that is, speak in such a way that our ego is kept aside when we speak. Sometimes when there is no need to speak, what pushes us to speak? It is our own ego. If we are discussing with somebody, the desire to have the last word, who is making it happen? It is the same ahankara. So he doesn't say too many things about speech. Kabir Das Ji says, Vani aisi boliye, man ka apa khoye. Keep your ego aside and then speak. Aurana ko sital kare, aapahu sitala hoye. It should bring peace to others. In that we will become peaceful. Aurana ko sital kare, aapahu sitala hoye. So that is the third facet of culture, which is speech. In speech, there is one point. Sometimes we feel speaking alone is a sign of strength. The one who is a powerful speaker is a strong person. But actually, person who is a good listener will be a better speaker. Sometimes you see two people saying the same thing and arguing. You are wondering, you are also saying the same thing. You are also saying the same thing. Why are you arguing about it? Because they are speaking, not listening. So culture in speech is that person is also good listener. And another facet of speech when it comes to culture is our mother tongue. Lot of culture gets transferred, lot of culture gets communicated when the language is cultural language, regional language. Even Vedanta class, many of you will agree, if you get to hear in your own mother tongue, it becomes very different. the impact that it creates, the examples that you can give in those languages. You tell a joke in Hindi, joke in English, totally different. That is the thing about language. What was the first one? Vastram. Second is Vapuhu. Third was Vak. Fourth one is knowledge, Vidya. Vidya means something should be our core competence, which we are good at doing. And last one, I already elaborated, which is Vinaya, which means humility. Okay. Shall we chant that verse again? You can reflect it more on your own and see how you can work on our culture through these facets. Vastrena vapusha vacha vidyaya vinayena cha vakarai panchabhir yuktah naro bhavati pujitah. Good. Now there is one very important event coming up next year. Abhishek ji will speak more about it. I'll just share a few thoughts. How many of you have attended Thanksgiving camp that we do in Krishnalaya? Good. How many of your children have attended youth camp that we do in Krishnalaya? Okay, how many of you have attended any Chinmaya mission camp, wherever we do it? Good, good. Imagine if you put all these camps together. What will that camp be called? Mahasamadhi camp. There is something for children, there is something for youth, there is something for parents, seniors, everybody is included. It's a family camp. You cannot send only your children, you have to come as a family. Last year it happened in Chicago, so you had to go all the way there. This year it happened in DC, 6-hour flight. Do you know where it's happening next year? Downtown San Jose. It's in Signia Hotel, one of the top hotels in US. Very good one. It was called Fremont before. Now it is Signia. So it's happening there. We'll all be in one place. It's a residential camp on Gopika Geet. So Swami Sarupananji will be doing classes for parents, adults, and children. Their classes will be taken by Swamins and Brahmacharins, assisted by different Sevaks and Sevikas. So that's a unique feature of this camp. I know several families whose spiritual journey started with Mahasamadhi camp. Generally, when we do yajnas, how many Swamins, Brahmacharins do you see? 1 or 2. If you go to a camp also, maybe 3 you will see there. For this camp, we will have around 15 Swamins and Brahmacharins coming from all across North America. They all will be here. So it's a unique way of connecting with them. You will get time to spend in satsang. So that is something very special. And our teams have already started planning a lot of events, activities, workshops. How many of you would love to learn sketching? If you have done it before, clay modeling, all those things will be there in these workshops. Super early bird discount of 15% on the registration ends on September 15th. So please do take advantage. We had this so that our own people can register. Those who are committed to come, they can register right away. So we have that for all of you.